Hi everyone! This video is to go over iReady topic understand ratio concepts. Let's begin.
You are playing a game with land and water tiles. Pick the piece that will make the map have equal amounts of land and water.
Okay, so what we see over here is a grid with 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have a 16 box grid. So we know we want equal parts land and water. So if we click on each of these sets of tiles, it will show us up here. Now we have 6 land to 10 water. That's not equal. If we click this one, we'll have 7 land to 9 water. Here with this one, we'll have 8 land to 8 water, which is equal, so that is the one that we want.
A ratio compares two quantities, such as land and water. The ratio of land to water in this level is 8 to 8. Fill in the map so that it has equal amounts of land and water.
Okay, so again, we have our 16 box grid and we want to find equal parts land to water. So with this first choice, we have 9 to 7, that doesn't work. Here we'll have 8 to 8, so that works, and we're good.
The ratio of land to water in this level is 8 to 8. The next level should have more land than water. Which piece should we add to the map?
Okay, so now we want more land than water. So when we're clicking our choices, this one's equal, so this one doesn't work. We want the green to have more. So right here, we have 9 land to 7 water. That's good. And we can go on.
The ratio of land to water in this level is 9 to 7. Fill in the map so that there is 3 times as much water as land.
Okay, 3 times as much water as land. So when we start clicking these, here we have 6 land to 10 water. If we do 6 times 3, that is not going to give us 10. If we click this one, we have 3 land to 13 water. 3 times 3 is not 13. That one doesn't work either. This one is 4 land to 12 water, and we know that 4 times 3 will give us 12, so this one works. So we want 4 land to 12 water.
The ratio of land to water in this level is 4 to 12. Kevin has a biscuit recipe that includes flour and buttermilk. He makes a batch of biscuits using 4 cups of flour and 3 cups of buttermilk. Make a diagram to show the amount of flour and buttermilk Kevin uses.
Okay, so we have 4 cups of flour, so we're gonna drag this little guy over until we have 4 flour, and we have 3 cups of buttermilk, so 3. So our ratio is 4 to 3, and we're good. Now we want to write that as a ratio.
Cups of flour to cups of buttermilk.
So again, we see we have 4 cups of flour to 3 cups of buttermilk.
Enter the ratio of cups of buttermilk to cups of flour.
So now we're just going the other way. So we have 3 cups of buttermilk, 4 cups of flour.
These ratios compare one ingredient to another in the recipe. A parfait is a layered dessert that can also be served for breakfast. Layers can include yogurt, ice cream, or pudding and fruit, granola, or nuts. Lana's grandmother makes a parfait using 12 ounces of yogurt and 8 ounces of fresh fruit. Make a diagram to show the amount of yogurt and fruit Lana's grandmother uses.
Okay, so we have 8 ounces of yogurt, so we're going to keep going over till it says 12, which is all the way. And now we have 8 ounces of fruit. So we go 8, so we have 12 to 8 in our little total column. And now we're going to write it as a ratio
down here. Enter the ratio
of
ounces of yogurt to total ounces in the parfait.
So we have 12 to total in the parfait. We see that we have over here, we have 12 yogurt and 8 fruit. So we add them together. 12 plus 8 would give us 20. So there are 20 total ounces in the parfait.
Enter the ratio of ounces of fruit to total ounces in the parfait.
So again, we have 8 ounces of fruit in the parfait, and then total, we add the 2 together, and that gave us 20. So this one's going to be 8 to 20.
Great work. These ratios compare one ingredient to the total amount in both ingredients. Mullick's famous chili cheese dip is made with 6 ounces of chili and 3 ounces of cream cheese. Make a diagram to show the amount of chili and cheese in Mullick's recipe.
Okay, so chili is going to be 6 ounces. So we're going to go over to the 6. And then cheese, cream cheese, is 3. So we have 6 to 3.
Describe the relationship between 6 ounces and 3 ounces.
So now the amount of chili is blank times the amount of cream cheese. Well, we need to think 3 times what will give us 6? 2. So the amount of chili is 2 times bigger than the amount of cream cheese.
Naomi makes chili cheese dip with 8 ounces of chili and 2 ounces of cream cheese.
Okay,
make a diagram to
so
show the
chili is
amount
going
of
to be
chili and
8.
cheese in Naomi's recipe.
So make sure you are checking that your total is the right number. So 8, and then 2 cheese. And this
Describe
one,
the relationship between 8 ounces and 2 ounces.
we're thinking to get from 2 ounces of the cream cheese up to the 8 ounces of chili, we multiply by 4. So the chili is 4 times the amount of cheese.
Whose recipe would make a cheesier dip?
Okay, so now when we look at these two things, it says up here, Malik's chili cheese dip. So Malik is 2 times, right? The amount of chili is 2 times the amount of cheese. Down here, Naomi is 4 times. So because she has so much more chili than cheese, hers is going to taste more chili-like. Whereas Malik's up here, his ratio is closer. There's more cheese for the chili, so his will taste cheesier.
Atole is a traditional Mexican beverage made with milk and masa, corn flour, and sweetened with piloncillo, brown sugar. Vanilla, cinnamon, and salt are added for flavor. Marta made a batch of atole for her family, but she decided it wasn't sweet enough. Change the amount of sugar to show a sweeter atole.
Okay, so to make something sweeter, we're going to add more sugar, so we can just move our sugar over 1. So now our sugar is 6 and our flour is 5, so that will make this sweeter. You could have dragged it more, whatever you want.
Now, change the amount of flour to show a sweeter atole.
So to make the flour, to change the amount of flour, but to make it sweeter, we have to go down in the amount of flour. So I'm just going to go down 1.
Nice.
Thanks.
Now, change the amount of flour and sugar to show a sweeter atole. Keep the total number of tablespoons the same as in the original recipe.
Okay, so I'm just going to go down 1 with the flour and then up 1 with the sugar. So the total is still 10, and I just changed it a little bit so that there's more sugar than flour.
A group of 60 students at Franklin Middle School were asked which type of music they listen to more often, alternative or pop. Enter the ratio of students who chose alternative to students who chose pop.
Okay, so right away we see that there are 15 students who chose alternative, and then from our chart we see that there are 45 who picked pop.
Describe the relationship between 45 students and 15 students.
So we need to think 15 times what will get us up to 45, 15 times 3. So that means the number of students who chose pop is 3 times bigger than the number of students who chose alternative. So we put 3 in there, and we're done.
Enter the ratio of students who chose alternative to the total number of students surveyed.
Okay, so again, we see 15 alternative, and now we have 60 total. So to think about their relationship, which is going to be our next question, think about how we're going from 15 up to 60. So 15 times what gets us up to 60?
Describe the relationship between 60 students and 15 students.
Which will be 4. So we're going to type that in. 15
Way
times
to
4
go.
is 60. Thanks.
A group of 30 students at Montgomery Middle were asked which type of music they listen to more often, alternative or pop.
Okay, so
Enter
we're
the
going to
ratio of students who chose
look in our
alternative
chart.
to students who chose pop.
Alternative is 20, pop is 10. Now again, think of what we're multiplying by to get from
Describe
pop
the
to
relationship between
alternative,
20 students and 10 students.
which is going to be 2. So 10 times 2 will give us 20. So it's 2 times bigger.
Enter the ratio of students who chose pop to the total number of students surveyed.
Okay, so here we're going to go pop is 10, and we see that total number is 30. So again, to go from 10 to 30, it's going to be 3 times bigger. So we're going to type 3 in.
Describe the
here.
relationship between 30 students and 10 students.
So 3 times bigger, done.
A group of 48 students at Lakeview Middle School were asked which type of music they listen to more often, country, hip-hop, or rock. Enter the ratio of students who chose rock to students who chose hip-hop.
Okay, so we see that rock is 8 from our chart and hip-hop is 24. Again, start thinking of how we're going to get from 8 to 24 for our next question.
Describe the relationship between 24 students and 8 students.
So it's going to be 8 times 3 to give us 24, so it's going to be 3 times bigger. And we're done.
Enter the ratio of students who chose rock to students who chose country.
Okay, rock is 8 and country is 16. And now think about that relationship from 8 to 16.
Describe the relationship between 16 students and 8 students.
And it's going to be 2, so we'll type that in. And we're good.
Enter the ratio of students who chose hip-hop to the total number of students surveyed.
Okay, so hip-hop we see is 24. Total students 48. We need to think, how do we get from 24 up to 48? What do we multiply by? And it's going to be 2. 24 is 2 times greater than
Describe
48.
the relationship between 48 students and 24 students.
So we said 2. We're going to type a 2 in there and click done.
Last spring, Kai planted a total of 9 green peppers and tomatoes in the community garden. He planted 2 times as many green peppers as tomatoes. Make a diagram to show the amount of green peppers and tomatoes that Kai planted.
Okay, so the way I want to think about this problem, you can't write on here. Okay, so we see in our problem, it says last spring he planted a total of 9 green peppers and tomatoes. So altogether, we have to have 9, right? It says he planted 2 times as many green peppers as tomatoes. So if we were to think about that, can I use this? Okay, as 2x plus x, where x represents the amount of tomatoes, and we know it has to equal 9, we're going to add these two together. So 2x plus 1x is going to give us 3x equals 9. And now we're going to divide both sides by 3 to give us an answer of 3. So x is equal to 3. So what that tells us is that we're going to have 3 tomatoes for every 6 green peppers. Now, we have 6 green peppers because we know if the tomatoes is 3, right, because we've got x equals 3, we need to do 2 times 3 to get the number of green peppers. So 2 times 3 would be 6. And now we see here that our total equals 9 because 6 plus 3 equals 9. So we click done and we're good. And now we just have to
enter the ratio of green peppers
this.
to tomatoes.
Okay, so down here, the ratio of green peppers to tomatoes is going to be 6 to 3. So we have 6 to 3, and we're good. Oops, gotta click next, and I'll erase while he reads.
Start with 1 tomato. Make a diagram to show 2 times as many green peppers.
Okay, so now we're starting right here with 1 tomato. We want 2 times as many green peppers, so 1 times 2 is 2. So we have 2 green peppers and 1 tomato.
1 tomato plus 2 green peppers is 3 total vegetables. We need 9, so let's keep going. Use 2 tomatoes. Make a diagram to show 2 times as many green peppers.
Okay, so we have 2. We want 2 times as many. So 2 times 2 is 4. So we're going to put in 4 green peppers. And now we have 4 green peppers, 2 tomatoes. That's only 6 though, so we have to keep going.
2 tomatoes plus 4 green peppers is 6 total vegetables. We still need more, so let's try again. Now, use 3 tomatoes. Make a diagram to show 2 times as many green peppers.
So 3 times 2 is going to give us 6. And now we see 6 plus 3 is 9.
3 tomatoes plus 6 green peppers is 9 total vegetables.
Good.
Enter the ratio of green peppers to tomatoes.
6 green peppers to 3 tomatoes. So we have 6 to 3. And we're good.
Camila planted a total of 16 radishes and carrots in the community garden. She planted 3 times as many radishes as carrots.
Okay.
Make a diagram to show the amount of carrots and radishes that Camila planted.
So we have a total of 16 radishes and carrots we see. So there's our total, equals 16. She planted 3 times as many radishes as carrots. So we're going to let x equal our number of carrots. And now we have 3x equal our number of radishes. We know that altogether, their sum is going to be 16. So we can do 3x plus x equals 16. 3x plus 1x is going to give us 4x. To solve for x, we're going to divide both sides by 4. And when we do that, we're going to get x is equal to 4. Whoops. Hold on, slower roll. Okay, divide by 4. There we go. These cancel out. And we have x equals 4. So now we know that we have 4 carrots up top here that we can select. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure it says 4 in your total column. And now to find the number of radishes, we have to do 3 times 4, which would be 12. So we're going to come all the way over here to 12. And we know that 4 plus 12 is 16, so we did it correctly.
That's it.
So the ratio of
carrots
to radishes, 4 to 12, and we're done. Next.
Start with 1 carrot. Make a diagram to show 3 times as many radishes.
Okay, so we have 1 carrot. We want 3 times as many, so 1 times 3 would be 3 radishes.
1 carrot plus 3 radishes is only 4 vegetables. Keep going until you have a total of 16 vegetables.
Okay, and we know that we just figured that out.
Make a diagram to show the amount of carrots and radishes that Camila planted.
If we have 4 carrots, we will have times 3. 4 times 3 will be 12, so we'll have 12 radishes, and 4 plus 12 is 16.
4 carrots plus 12 radishes is 16 total vegetables. Enter the ratio of carrots to radishes.
And we know we have 4 carrots to 12 radishes. So type that in, and we're good.
Miguel picked a total of 25 tomatoes and cucumbers at the community garden. He picked 4 times as many tomatoes as cucumbers.
Okay, so over
Make
here,
a diagram to show the number of tomatoes and cucumbers that Miguel picked.
I have 25 in total. I know that I have 4 times as many tomatoes as cucumbers. So my cucumbers is going to be my x, and my tomatoes are going to be 4x. So now I'm going to do 4x plus x equals 25. 4x plus 1x is going to give me 5x equals 25. Divide both sides by 5. And we're going to get x is equal to 5. So now I know that I have 5 cucumbers. So I can come over here and click that I have 5 cucumbers. And then 4 times 5 is going to give us 20. So we want 20 tomatoes. And now when we check our work over here, we know that 20 plus 5 is 25. So we're good. And we're going to
Enter the
enter our
ratio of
ratio.
tomatoes to cucumbers.
So we have 20 tomatoes to 5 cucumbers.
Start with 1 cucumber. Make a diagram to show 4 times as many tomatoes.
Okay, so we're going to take 1 cucumber times our 4 tomatoes, drag it over to 4.
1 cucumber plus 4 tomatoes is only 5 vegetables. Keep going until you have a total of 25 vegetables.
Okay, so now we know from our little work down here that we did.
Make a diagram to show the number of tomatoes and cucumbers that Miguel picked.
That we want 5 cucumbers and 20 tomatoes, so we're going to put that in our chart. And we're done.
5 cucumbers plus 20 tomatoes is 25 total vegetables. Enter the ratio of tomatoes to cucumbers.
So again, we have 20 tomatoes to 5 cucumbers, and we're done.
A group of 20 students and 4 adults are going on a field trip to the museum. Make a diagram to show the ratio of students to adults.
Okay, so right here it tells us we have 20 students, so we're going to drag this over till it gets to 20. And then we are going to drag this over till it gets to 4, like that. Okay, and we're done. And now we're just going to type in our ratio.
Of students to adults? Complete the statement.
20 students, oh my goodness, to 4 adults, and we're done.
Macy's aunt makes raspberry jam using 6 tablespoons of sugar and 8 tablespoons of raspberries. What is the ratio of tablespoons of raspberries to tablespoons of sugar?
So we can look right here in our chart. We see 8 raspberries to 6 sugar, so we're going to pick 8 to 6.
Macy's aunt makes raspberry jam using 6 tablespoons of sugar and 8 tablespoons of raspberries. Macy wants to make a fruitier tasting jam.
So we want more fruit.
Which ratio of tablespoons of raspberries to tablespoons of sugar would make a fruitier jam?
So right now we have 8 raspberries to 6 sugar, so we want more fruit. So 9 to 6 would be more raspberries, so we're going to click that one and go on.
Studies show that it is important to limit the time spent on electronic devices, for example, phones, computers, TV, and games, and balance free time with other activities. Lamont surveyed his class on how they spent their free time during the week. Enter the ratio of hours spent using electronic devices to hours spent playing sports.
Okay, we see here electronic devices is 30 in our chart, and hours playing sports is 15. So we have 30 to 15. And now for our next question, we're going to think about the relationship between the two. 15 times what would give us 30? Well, 15 times 2. So we know that it's 2 times greater.
What is the relationship between 30 hours and 15 hours? Complete the statement.
So the number of hours students spend using electronic devices is 2 times greater than the number of hours spent playing sports. Could put a 2, and we're good.
Jenny is making tie-dyed shirts for her class with her school colors, blue and yellow. She used a total of 8 ounces of fabric paint. The amount of blue paint is 3 times the amount of yellow paint.
Okay.
Make a diagram to show the ratio of blue paint to yellow paint.
So yellow is going to be X, blue is going to be 3X. We know that together they're going to add up to 8X. So we have 3X plus 1x equals 8. We're going to combine our like terms. That's going to give us 4x equals 8. And when we solve for x, we're going to divide both sides by 4, which will give us x equals 2. So now what we can do is put yellow at 2, and blue, 3 times 2 will be 6. So we're going to go over to 6, and we know that 6 plus 2 is equal to 8, so we did it correctly.
What is the ratio of blue paint to yellow paint? Complete the ratio.
Okay, so blue paint is 6, yellow paint is 2.
A group of 32 students and 8 adults are going on a field trip to the recycling center. Make a diagram to show the ratio of students to adults.
Okay, so right here in our problem, they tell us that we have 32 students, so we're going to drag this over till we get to 32, and make sure your total says 32 over here. And now adults is going to be 8, so we want to make sure that that is 8, and we click done.
What is the ratio of students to adults?
And we're going to
Complete
type
the
in
statement.
32 to 8 right here, 32 students, 8 adults.
Mateo's stepfather makes blueberry jam using 10 tablespoons of blueberries and 4 tablespoons of sugar. What is the ratio of tablespoons of sugar to tablespoons of blueberries?
Right here from our chart, 4 sugar to 10 blueberries, so 4 to 10.
Mateo's stepfather makes blueberry jam using 10 tablespoons of blueberries and 4 tablespoons of sugar. Mateo wants to make a sweeter blueberry jam. Which ratio of tablespoons of sugar to tablespoons of blueberries would make a sweeter jam?
So we want to leave the blueberries alone, so we want to leave that as 10, so we want the 10 to stay the same. We want to increase the sugar, so we want 4 to go up to 5. So we're going to click 5 to 10, and we're good.
Studies show that it is important to limit the time spent on electronic devices, for example, phones, computers, TV, and games, and balance free time with other activities. Ava surveyed her class on how they spent their free time during the week. Enter the ratio of hours spent using electronic devices to hours spent playing sports.
Okay, so from our chart, we see using electronic devices is 36 hours, and time playing sports is 12. So we're going to have 36 to 12. Now we're going to think about that relationship.
What is the relationship between 36 hours and 12 hours?
And to go from 12 to
Complete the
36, we know that it's going to be 3 times. So we're going to type 3 times in there, and we're done.
Grace is making tie-dyed shirts for her class with her school colors, orange and green. She used a total of 6 ounces of fabric paint. The amount of orange paint is 2 times the amount of green paint. Make a diagram to show the ratio of orange paint to green paint.
Okay, so orange is 2 times more than green, so we have 2x for orange and x for green. So over here, we're going to have 2x plus x equals 6, because it says that we have a total of 6 ounces of paint. So we know 2x plus 1x is going to be 3x equal to 6. And we know that when we solve for x, we're going to divide both sides by 3 to get x is equal to 2. So now we can put green as 2, and 2 times 2 is going to be 4, so orange is going to be 4. And just to check, we know that 4 plus 2 is 6, so we're good. And now we're just going to type in our ratio.
Orange paint to green paint?
And we're going to type in
Complete
4
the ratio.
to 2 and click done. Okay, go try it all on your own. Good luck. Bye.